You have been lifting for a while now, and for some reason, your muscles still aren't growing. You're frustrated, you're asking yourself, why isn't this working? Or what am I doing wrong? But let me tell you, it's not your genetics. More than likely, you're making one or more critical mistakes. And today, I'm gonna be breaking them down and showing you exactly how to fix them. Starting with mistake number one, believe it or not, you're probably not training hard enough. Now, what does that mean? See, when it comes to building muscle, every rep has to have a purpose. There's no such thing as a wasted rep. And the most efficient way to grow is through progressive overload. That means constantly pushing your muscles to do more over time. Now, I'm gonna simplify specifically how I train to just two methods. I use method number one whenever I'm training for strength, and method number two when I'm training for hypertrophy. Now, method number one is when I'm strength focused, meaning I'm doing lower reps, heavier weight. But the heavy is gonna be subjective. Remember that. It's all based on your one rep max. And method two is when I'm training for hypertrophy, meaning I'm doing less weight, but higher reps. Now remember, your specific goal is what's gonna dictate the load, but what doesn't change is the intensity. So that means whether I'm training for just 5 reps or I'm pushing closer to 8 to 12, I'm still getting close to failure on that last set. And that is the key. That's what most people don't do. They don't train hard enough, especially when it's a higher rep count. And I know when you stop, it's gonna burn, but that's when the growth happens. That's when you have to push through the discomfort. But let's say you're somebody who thinks they're already training hard, you'll never really know unless you track it, which is going to lead to my next point, which is you're not tracking your workouts. And simply put, if you're not tracking, you're just guessing. That is because doing random workouts will lead to random results. If you're watching this video, you're somebody who wants consistent results. That means you need to consistently progress. You need to consistently track. So if you're not documenting your sets, reps, or weight, how can you expect to improve? You can't progressively overload what you don't measure. And if you're not progressively overloading, then you're just not building muscle. It's that simple. And it's gonna be the same thing if I'm training for hypertrophy. The only thing that's gonna change is how much load I put on. But I do wanna say you should not just add load if it's gonna cost you in your form. You always wanna make sure you're putting form as your top priority. But the thing is, it does not matter how hard you're training if you're not fueling your body properly, which is actually mistake number 3. A lot of people trying to build muscle seriously underestimate the importance of proper nutrition. Because if you're not gradually gaining weight over time, you're not building muscle. Period. You cannot expect your body to grow if you're not giving it the fuel that it needs. Now, after saying that, you might be wondering, what type of fuel does my body need? Remember, the most important macronutrient that your body needs for muscle growth is going to be protein. And how much protein you need to consume daily is completely dependent on your body weight, which is why building muscle is a never-ending slope. And since you've built muscle, you've gained weight, so now the amount of calories you got to consume also goes up. And that's just if you want to maintain your weight. But if you're someone who's got their eating right and they're consuming enough protein, then the biggest problem for you is probably inconsistency, specifically an inconsistent routine. Because believe me, jumping from program to program every couple weeks is one of the fastest ways to kill your progress. Because when it comes to building muscle, your body needs time. And I'm not talking days, weeks, I'm talking months, years. That's the time it's going to take for your body to adapt and grow stronger. Because real results come from sticking to a plan and being consistent with it, even if it feels repetitive. And that actually brings me to my next point, because if you're someone struggling with that, you're probably also doing all these fancy workouts you see on social media. Forget all the TikTok workouts that you see online. What you need to stick to are the boring lifts that help you build real muscle. Like I'm talking squat, deadlift, bench, pull-up, rows, and overhead press. These are the compound movements that should be the foundation of your overall training. That means everything else is just noise until you built that foundation and both strength and fundamentals. But once you get your fundamentals down, the next mistake can be very overlooked because it happens outside of the gym, and that is sleep and recovery. And you can train hard, you can eat right, but if you're not getting enough sleep, literally none of it matters. Sleep is where real muscle building actually occurs. Believe it or not, your body doesn't grow in the gym, it grows at night when the recovery happens. That is when your hormones reset and your muscle tissue repairs. So if you're someone who's getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, you're not just tired, you're also cutting into your gains. Your testosterone is gonna drop, your cortisol is gonna spike, your craving is gonna go up, but your performance is gonna go down. And I'm gonna be blunt, if you're serious about building muscle, then you're also serious about sleeping. No excuses. But let's say you got everything I just talked about dialed in, but you're still not seeing results. Understand that you haven't seen results yet. Like they're still coming. What you need is patience. Understand that building muscle is the reverse of losing fat. Losing fat, you can see results instantly, like literally in less than a week. Building muscle, it doesn't even take weeks. It takes months, years even. Believe me, those years are gonna happen whether you train or not, so it's really important to be consistent, and that's where most people fail. They want a shortcut, they want a magic workout, they want a quick transformation. It doesn't happen like that. That is not reality. Building muscle isn't fast, it's dirty work, it's showing up, especially when you don't feel like it. It's all about repeating the same lifts, same meals, same routines, because that is what actually builds results. So if you're someone who's not consistently willing to grind, then you'll always find something else to blame. Remember that building muscle isn't for the impatient, but for the relentless. So if you like this video and you want more real non-BS fitness advice, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and comment below. What are some mistakes you've made in the past and what are some mistakes that you're currently working on?